Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Marquita Thomas, and I have the pleasure of serving as the founding president and CEO of the California LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. We're proud to partner with the Department of General Services on today's programming to help small businesses better understand the small business and the DBBE certification and how it can open doors to real contracting opportunities. Again, really appreciate you showing up today. By doing so, you've already taken a really important step towards expanding your business and positioning yourself for new opportunities with the state of California. Today, you're going to hear from Teresa Macias Ruiz, Josh Kress, and Samantha Poole. They are business outreach liaisons from the Department of General Services. And with that, we are ready to get started. I'm going to launch the first poll while Teresa is introducing herself.
I'm so sorry, Marquita. Somebody's knocking on my door. Can you just give me 1 second?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are launching the first poll here. We're interested in knowing how many of you already have certifications, any certification, whether it's LGBTBE, whether it is women-owned business, minority, business enterprise, disabled veteran. Do you have a small business enterprise certification? Just curious to know who has already taken that step. It's perfectly fine if you have not. If you haven't, that's fine as well. And also, while you're doing that, we'd love to hear from you in the chat about your business, who you are, what your business is. It's a really great opportunity for you to network with one another and help us better understand who's in the room. So Teresa is back, and I'm going to let her take it away.
Thank you. And I will share my presentation so that we can get started and quickly get through this in the hour that we have. All right, so this is a certification workshop. So you're probably not going to be able to get your certification, but at least it will give you an idea of what the certification looks like. So that when you are doing it, if you don't have it, then you know exactly what to expect. All right, so, oh, it's moving too fast. So my name is Teresa Macias Ruiz. I am a business outreach liaison, and Samantha Poole and Josh Kress, they're going to be here assisting me on the back end. They're going to be answering your questions if you have any. So I'm going to move quickly. We do have our email addresses listed there. If you need to contact any of us, email would be the best way to get a hold of us. All right, so I'm going to give you an intro into the SBDBB program. I'm going to list just really quickly the eligibility requirements, the benefits of having the certification, and then we're going to go through the registration and certification in Cali Procure. All right, so the state of California and all of the over 200 state departments have a goal, okay? This goal is a 25% goal of all state contracts to be awarded to certified small businesses and 3% to DVVEs. If you can see in the fiscal year 23-24, we surpassed both of the goals with 26.58% for small businesses, equaling to $3.55 billion, and 4.69% for DVVEs, and it's over 600 million. So that's a lot of money, right? That you could have a little piece of if you get your certification. Cali Procure is where you're going to be doing everything. The first thing you're going to do is log in, register. You are going to click as a new bidder registration. I do want to tell you. So if you want to get the small business certification, you do need to live in California, You can have up to 100 employees. You have to be in your business has to be independently owned and operated. You need to have competition, and you can make up to 19 million. This is an average over the three past fiscal years. So I wanted to go over that really quick. The DVBE is a little bit different. You have to have served because in the armed forces of the United States, and because of service, have a 10% of more disability. The owners have to live in California. The company has to be owned by a 51% owned by one or more disabled vet. Management and the overseeing of the company also has to be done by disabled vets, and the headquarters can be anywhere in California. So for the small business, headquarters has to be, for the headquarters for the small business has to be in California. For the DBBE, it can be anywhere in the United States, but the owners do have to live in California. Okay, that was a really quick recap of that. But now on to the actual registration, because it's a two-step. You're gonna register first, and then you are going to do the certification after you finish that. So to register, you register by clicking on the new bidder registration. It's going to be 6 pages, as you can see. Super simple. Anything that has an asterisk, you have to put in your information in there. If it doesn't, it's not required, but you can do it. Like, for example, in this one, it's your website. Why would you not want to have it if you do have one, right? Why would you not have it listed in there? They can see a lot of your goods and maybe pictures, maybe, whatever it is that you have in your website. So have it in there. But anyways, go ahead and fill out the information. If you see number 1, if you click on the top part, which is Federal Employer Identification Number, then that's the number you got to put in. If you're using your Social Security, then you would click on the Social Security number part. Okay, then you fill out the rest of the information. This is page 1. Then you click on next. Second one, it's about your supplier diversity information. It is completely voluntary. You do not have to do it if you choose not to. But the state of California started collecting this information. It's really to help us know who's getting the contracts, but to do better outreach, to see where we need to do more so that we can actually hit every area if possible, and that we can get everybody, right, that can do business with the state of California. It's not going to grant you any type of preference. So this is just for statistical type of purposes. But after you fill this part, if you can see, it's super simple, right? It's just clicking of the boxes. After you fill this part and you scroll down, this part is going to show up. This is the supplier diversity certifications. If you have any of them, you can list them here. And sometimes we get primes that are looking for specific, like maybe DBEs or MBEs or WEs, so minority business enterprises, women-owned. They can actually download the information from Cali Procure. And if you have this type of certification, then you might be getting a contract with Prime. So while it doesn't grant you any preference with us, you never know where listing the other certifications might take you. All right, so that's page 2. Page 3, it's your address. Super simple. If you have different addresses, like the bill to address, the ship to customer, that kind of stuff, then you can put them in there. If you don't, then this putting the address once is going to suffice, right? Then you're going to click on next. Now it's adding the contacts. How simple is that, right? This is page 4 already. See, we're moving pretty fast. So you click on add the contact, then the pop-up comes up, you fill in the information, and then you click on OK. If you need to add more, then you just click on add more, okay? Until you're done with all the contacts that you need. Now, if the first one that you put in there is a primary, let me go back. You can set it on the top. It says primary contact. You can put that in there. You can click on that little box, and that will be your primary contact for this account, right? All right. So then we hit next after we add all the contact information. This is really important. Okay. Some people, I've looked at some accounts and it says, would you like to receive CSCR bid opportunity to interest notifications? And they have no. So that means they were never receiving any notifications from the system. Okay. So you want to have in there, yes. Why would you want to do all the work? Let the system work for you too, right? So after you click on yes, then more boxes are going to open and you're going to be able to add who receives those notifications. You can add as many as you need. Okay. My suggestion. So in case in the future you have an employee, right, and maybe that employee, it's the sole purpose is to receive those notifications, bid on the contracts and all that stuff. How about if that employee leaves and then you're not getting those notifications? Set up a generic mailbox that anybody can access. That way you don't lose access to it. Or if you're the owner, then set up yourself as one of the people that receives those notifications. All right. So after you're done with that, the next part is going to be the selection of the UNSPSC codes. What are those? They're United Nations Standard Products and Services Codes. We do not utilize NAICS. NAICS are they're broader industry type of stuff. Ours are really more exact to what you sell, depending on what you sell, because there are some people that sell very niche things. Mm-hmm. You might not find a specific UNSPSC that goes exactly with what you need. Okay, so but you can get as close to as possible. So when you're doing that, so what is a UNSPSC code? I already described or said what it means, but it is an 8-digit number, and it has a written description, and it identifies your good or service, not an industry like NAICS. This is an example of them. It does go by hierarchy, so the level 1 is the broadest of all of them, and if you can see it, and it goes by twos. So 14, and if you go down to the level 2, it's 14, 11, level 3, 14, 11, 15, and so on. So if you can see, the first one is paper, materials, and products. That can include anywhere from toilet paper to office paper, right? So you want to get down to the level 3 and level 4, because that one really tells the story, right? It says, like if you look at the level 4, printer or copier paper. So we know exactly what you're selling. So you want to get down to those two, to the level 3 and the level 4. We do have our own website. There is a unspsc.org. Don't use that one. If you need our own website, we can email it to you. Maybe Samantha and Josh can post the website for the UNSPSC codes in case somebody needs it on the chat. But that one has all the UNSPSC codes that the state utilizes. And the unspsc.org has everything that the world sells. So you don't want that. You want exactly the ones that we buy, right? So that's what you want to have. All right. So going back to the screen where you're going to actually choose what you want to do. So if you already know the UNSPSC code, then you would utilize the top part where it says UNSPSC and then the search. Yeah. But if you don't know the number, then you utilize the second rectangle that says UNSPSC description. In there, you're going to utilize a keyword. Okay. And let me show you next. So if you see, I utilize paper, and then you click on the word on the search button. So what it does, it's going to show all the keywords or all the UNSPSC codes, that have that keyword in the description. So once you choose the ones, the UNSPSC codes that actually go with what you sell, then you just simply click on the little boxes next to the number on the left of the number. And then you click on Add Selected. Once you click on Add Selected, they're going to move over to the right, and that says My Notification UNSPSC Selection. That's what your UNSPSCs are. That's what the notifications are going to be pulled from, right? So anytime the system has a contract with that kind of UNSPSC, you will get a notification. All right. The next section is going to be, and you're going to do that, the UNSPSC selection until you have all of the stuff that you sell. And I mean all of it. If you sell 2,000 different things, you want to try to locate 2,000 different UNSPSC codes. Okay. Now, service areas, which is counties. Where do you want to work? Where do you want to offer your services or your products, right? If you are maybe an IT person, maybe you can do statewide. If you're maybe in construction or something that's more of a brick and mortar kind of thing, or something that's not something that you want to, if you're in LA, you don't want to go all the way to the Eureka because there's added cost into it. You want to think about all that stuff before you click on the counties that you want to work, right? So think about all that stuff. But if you can do anywhere in the state, you just simply click on that first bar where it says for services statewide, click there. If you don't, then you're going to click on the 3 bars that you see there on the second arrow. And you are going to have a pop-up come up, and then you can search by either using the the rectangles on the right-hand top corner. I usually use the second rectangle, begins with, and then I put in the county that I'm interested in doing. You're going to do this until you find all the ones that you want to do. Unfortunately, in here, you can't click on all the ones that you want. Once you click on one, for example, if you were choosing Alameda, then you would click on the number, and then it adds it into your profile. And then you have to start again. You would have to keep clicking on the 3 bars, right? Or sorry, you would click on the add another service area until you get all the ones that you want to work in. Okay. Once you're done with that, then you click on next. Now we're down to the last page of the registration. That was quick, right? Now you're going to click to accept the terms of agreement. Make sure that you read through all that writing because it's important for you to know what you're agreeing to, right? Once you do that, then you click on submit. You're going to be done. You're going to receive an email, okay? You're going to get an email with your registration ID that you chose, and then you are going to get a temporary password. The email looks something like this, okay? So you'll have your user ID and then a temporary password. So you're going to click on, you can click right away on Cali Procure Login, and then, right? So that's your information. Then you would click on Login Register. If you didn't click on that one that you got on your email, you can go back to Cali Procure. Then you're going to use the user ID and the temporary password that you have, and then click on Login. So the system is going to tell you right away that the email is, that you have to change your password, I'm sorry. So you are going to choose, there's going to be a 16 alphanumeric and with special characters type of password. So 16. So remember, I use phrases and then I use capitalization and numbers and characters, and it helps me remember. So think about that. And then you're going to click on continue. You're going to use your current password and then the new password that you're going to choose. Make sure that you remember it, okay? Then you're going to click on change password. Once you do that, you're going to have to log in again, okay? Because if you see on the top, it says your password has been updated, but you have to do it again. Once you put in your new credentials, hit login, and now you're going to be here. If you look at this profile, it doesn't have a certification. If you see, it says right where I put the red rectangle, it says get started. So that's what you can do. There's also another section right below it. It says certification, and it says apply for certification. You can click on that one too, but either of the two work. So once you click there and get started, you're going to see something like this, okay? So what you want to do is you want to look at the information. This is going to tell you the eligibility requirements for the small business and the DBBE. There's also a short video of the keywords and UNSPSC codes. It's like 2 to 3 minutes. So it's good to look at it just to see. But it also tells you some of the documents that you need. Top of really quick, you'll need, of course, your completed tax returns. What happens if you've only been in business from last year, right? So maybe you just have last year's, and that's okay. The system is going to know how many years of tax documentation you need based on the startup of your company. Okay, so because you'll need 3 years. And then you'll need that letter that you got with your tax ID number from the IRS. You'll need that letter. So if you don't have it right now, you need to, you can request for it. If you have employees, you will need the quarterly contribution return and report of wages, or the form DE9C. If you're not filling out this form, you probably don't have any employees. And then there's going to be other type of documents depending on the structure of your company. So what you want to do, if you look where the green you are screen sharing, next to it on the left, it has two bullet points: small business document requirements and the DBBE document requirements. You want to click on any of those, depending on which ones you're going to choose, the certification. Click on it because it will tell you the rest of the documents you need to have. One thing, please scan or upload those documents into your computer with short names. The system doesn't like long names, so short names that tell you exactly what it is, and have them uploaded into your computer before you begin the certification. Okay, so you don't have to stop to gather the documents. All right, once you're done with that, then you can click on Get Certified or Apply or Reapply. Now this is going to come up. If you click on the one that you are applying for, if you are applying for the small business and you also qualify for the disabled veteran business enterprise, go ahead and apply, right? You must read the eligibility requirements just to make sure that you do apply for it and you're not wasting your own time. Okay. Then after you click on the little squares next to the certifications you're applying for, then you click on Next. This is what it will look like. There are going to be questions. Remember those eligibility requirements that I told you about? That's the questions. That's the one of the pages with all those questions. Does this firm independently manage and control the day-to-day operations? Blah blah blah. So this is the kind of stuff it's going to ask you. Do you have 100 or less employees? Do you make up to whatever amount? So these are the questions. Once you answer them, you click on Next. Then you're going to click on I accept the terms. But before you click on accept the terms, make sure, if you see I highlighted the bar on the right, make sure that you read all of that that's in gray in between. Like I said before, you really want to know what you're getting into, right? Then once you're done with that, click on Next. So you filled out those 2 pages, right? Or 1 page and then the accept terms. Now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of information that you need to fill out. And you'll see it's pretty simple. First one, that's registration. Some of it might be already pre-filled because it's going to bring some of the information from the registration side. But again, anything with an asterisk, you must fill it out. Okay? Pretty simple information: the legal business name, the phone number, if you have any DBAs, contact information name. Some of the stuff, like I said, is going to pull over from the registration side, the mailing address. So simple info. You see what I'm talking about? It is not anything out of this world. Now, and I did a close-up so you can see it, and it's nothing out of this world. So there you go, your contact information, your mailing address. Like I said, some of this information is going to bring it over from the registration side. Just make sure that you verify it. Make sure you didn't have a typo or anything like that, okay? Then you're gonna click on Save and Continue. Business one. I'm gonna do the close-up again. Industry type questions. Depending on how you answer, the system is going to know whether you are in manufacturing, in construction, in whatever it happens to be. Okay. So you see how simple the questions are? Does this firm provide services? Yes or no? Does this firm hold a construction contractor's license with Contractor State License Board? So if you say no, you're not going to have a little box where you're going to put the license number. If you say yes, it's going to open up. Okay. So this is the kind of questions that you're going to see. Based on those answers, the system is going to know whether you're in service, manufacturer, construction, non-manufacturer. So business information right below that area. Make sure that you know when your business date started, okay? Because that's really important. You need to have that. But you see the kind of information that you need? The business structure type, the California Secretary of State LLC number if you have an LLC. So just make sure that you know how to answer all these questions. But it's pretty simple stuff. It's your company. You should know how to answer them. After you answer these questions, hit Save and Continue. Now we have the Owners tab. Pretty simple information, right? You're going to put in here if there is 1 or 3 or 4 owners, this is where you're going to enter all that information. If you need to add owners, right where it says you are screen sharing, the green bar, there is a little, a big rectangle that says add owner if there is more than 1. You're going to put the type of owner, the first name, last name, ownership percentage, the home address of that owner, because this is information from the owners, okay, not the companies, from the owners, right? Well, I mean, it's about the company, but you see what I'm saying. Then after you add all the owners, then you're going to hit on Save and Continue. So if there are any affiliates, you'll have to fill out this information, right? And if you don't, you're just going to click on no to all the questions. But if there are affiliates, please make sure that you list that type of information in here because they will find it. Okay. When they review the applications, they will find it. So make sure that you state all the information correctly. Okay. After you answer all those questions, then you click on Save and Continue. Well, I did a close-up again. This is the type of information that you're going to need to fill out. Pretty simple, correct? Business name, first name, last name, title, ownership. So depending on if you have more than 1 affiliate, right? So you're going to fill out this information and then save and continue. Tax information, very important. Remember that form DE9C? If you do fill out the DE9C, that's how you'll know that you have employees, right? Sorry, excuse me. So go ahead and fill out this information correctly so that you don't have any wait time, any lag, okay? If you have 3 employees, that means you're gonna have DE9C forms for all those 3 employees. Make sure you fill it out correctly. It's gonna ask you for your tax information. So remember how I said when I was talking about the taxes, the system and also the startup date. So if you just started your business last year or the year before last, then the system is gonna ask for probably 2 years of GARs, and that's what you'll have in here. It's gonna ask you for 2 years. If you just started last year, but you don't have your information yet, you can put in their GARs not available. But make sure that you let them know that you're going to have something, right? Because you're about to do your taxes anyways for last year. So make sure that you fill everything correctly. Now, if you're wondering, where do I get those numbers from, right? Where do I get my gross annual receipts from? On the right, you have the gross annual receipts table. It tells you right there. If you're a C corporation, then it says form and you file form 1120 or 1120A. It's line 1C. If you're a corporation, any other type, it's form 1120S, line 1C. So you have a list in there of the different types of business structures and the different tax forms that might be filled, and where in those forms, where can you find the number that you must put in the GARS section for that year. So it makes it easier for you to know where exactly to get that information from, so that you don't make any mistakes in here. Okay. So once you fill out this form, then the system is gonna say, have you entered the correct GARS amounts for each year? So once you click yes, you're going to move forward. If you click a no because you think you might have edited or you want to check again, you can click no and go back, make sure, oh yeah, I put in the right amounts, and then go back and then click on yes. Once you do that, this is very important. So on the registration side, you entered the service areas and UNSPSC codes. In the certification side, you're going to enter, again, the service areas, the UNSPSC codes, but you're going to have a section for keywords. What are keywords? It's anything and everything that you sell, whether it be a service, a product, or both. Okay? You would have everything in there, every keyword in here for all the services and products that you sell. Okay, service area. That's the counties, if you remember. It's going to ask you, do you want to transfer the service areas from your bid or registration? You can click on yes, and they will bring over everything that you had on the registration side. For the keywords, you are going to type in a keyword in there and then enter plus. Now, to just get the certification, you can do that. Set up an appointment with us because we can help you make the keyword section a lot better once you get your certification. But just to get it done and started, go ahead and just enter keywords and keep clicking on the plus to add what you, all the stuff, all the different things that you do, okay, that you sell. I'm not going to go over the keywords because I already told you what they are, right? You're going to choose them because you know your business, but it describes whatever it is that you sell, whether it be a good or a service. All right. So again, we came back here. Once you're done with the keywords, then again, you're going to have the UNSPC classification section. If you got all the UNSPSC codes that you thought were applied to your business, then you can click on the yes, because it's asking you if you want to transfer everything from the bid or registration. You can click on yes, and then it will bring everything over to this side, and you don't have to put in the work again, right? But if you forgot some, go ahead and click on the add UNSPSC selection. And then you're gonna, I always use the description field, which is where I have the red rectangle. Put in the description, and then you're gonna click on the little boxes on the left for the ones that apply to what you sell in your company. And then you're gonna click on add, save, and then it will bring them down to under that section of the UNSPSC selection. Okay, we're almost at the end, I think, and we got plenty of time. So I don't know if there are any questions before I move on, Samantha or Josh?
No, there's been no questions so far.
Good. All right. I think we might finish before the hour. Let's see. All right. So let's move on. So this type of questions are going to be there. Is the applicant firm military veteran owned? And then do you want to share my, it says I approve the sharing of my certification information with other government and local agencies for the purpose of participating in their business certification programs. It's up to you if you want to say yes or no, okay? And then very important, the upcoming bid. If you are looking at a contract already in Cali Procure, because you started doing research before you even got the certification, and that bid due is within the next 30 days, you can click on yes. You'll need the information about the bid, because they're not just going to let you go without or expedite your certification application just by you saying yes. You're going to need the information about the contract, and then it kind of bumps you into a different queue for them to look at your application quicker. And that's in case your application goes into pending for review. If you answer the questions correctly and you uploaded all your documents, the system might auto approve you, except if you are a DVVE. If you're applying for the DVVE, that will always go under pending for review, because they gotta make sure that you deserve and different things, okay? So once you answer these questions, click on Save and Continue. We are at the end of the application. This is the part where you're just gonna click on add your, if you have employees, the DE9C form, you click on add attachment, you put in a short description, the comments, maybe, I don't know, employee name, I don't know. It's your application, so just put a short description, but you're gonna add the DE9Cs in there, because on this application that they said they had employees, so therefore it's gonna ask for that. It's gonna also ask for the tax ID notification. If you see it doesn't ask for taxes, that means when we were doing this, we said that we probably said that, because this is just a test account, we probably said that the business was pretty new, so there were no taxes done, right? So it's only asking for the stuff that you have right now, that the system knows that you need to upload. Once you upload your documentation, and that's why I ask you to upload all your documents prior to starting the certification, because once you have everything in your computer, you're just gonna click on add attachment, click on the attachment, and there it is, right? Super quick and simple, as opposed to, I need my tax ID letter from the IRS. Where is it? Right? No, have all that stuff. Be prepared before you start the certification. Once you upload your documents, then you click on submit application. And then it's gonna ask you to do the penalty of perjury. I accept the terms and conditions. Again, read it, okay? You wanna know what you're getting into. Once you read it, click on I accept, and then click on OK. Once you do that, the system might send you something. These are samples of notifications that you'll get once you click submit. For example, the first one, Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, is submitted for review, right? That's always going to be the case. And then the small business is auto approved. So the second one, it's the DVVE is submitted for review like normal. The SB was also submitted for review, and this person applied for everything: the DVVE, the SB, and the SBPW. So all of them were submitted for review for whatever reason, okay? Like I said, if you if you fill out the application correctly, you answer all the questions, you upload all your documents, you could be auto-approved, except for the DVVE. But this is as simple as it gets. It really, if you have all your stuff and you know your company, you could finish filling out this application in half an hour. All right. If you need assistance, okay, once you're done with the application, if you need assistance, say, oh, I forgot my password because I didn't write it down. In Cali Procure, when you just go into www.caleprocure.ca.gov. On the top menu, there is a help menu. Click on it, and then you click on contact us. This stuff is gonna come up in there, and another thing in there, but these are the most important. The first one is the login assistance help. You can email them or call them, and they'll respond pretty quickly. Okay, that's for login assistance. The second one is if, say, your application wasn't approved or whatever, or they require you have questions when you're going through the application, as long as you save and continue, even if you're in the certification process, it will save your answers. Okay, if you have a question while you're filling out the application, you can call them or you can email certification@dgs.ca.gov, and they'll answer your question. So that way you can fill out the application correctly the first time, without having to wait for the system to say, oh, pending for review or something like that. Okay, they're there to help you. There's usually someone assigned to the phone or the email every day, so you'll get a reply pretty quickly. Okay, but this is as simple as it gets. If you need help with adding those passwords and making it better, making your profile better, doing market research so you know which State Departments purchase what to sell, little things like that, how you can contact the state advocates. You can schedule a consultation. Just click on put your camera up to the QR code, and then those 4 options are going to come up. I don't really care unless you're doing your Cali Procure registration and certification. Don't click on that one. But if you click on any of the other ones, we all can help you. We usually ask you, how can we help you? And then we'd let the conversation flow. Okay? So, but use us. We're here to help you as much as we can, and we're happy to do it. We also have a LinkedIn, so follow us. There is the LinkedIn, I don't know if you say address, but that's our page. We post information in there about upcoming opportunities sometimes, about events that we're participating in, and tips and for making your profile stronger and stuff like that. So follow us. There are resources to help. Marquita, I don't know if you guys help with any of the same stuff that the small business development centers and the Apex and SCORE help with, but I know these people, these organizations help for free because they're getting, tax money from the Fed and from the state. So that's how they are able to function and do and offer the services for free to small businesses. They offer consulting, planning, marketing, access to capital, government contracting. So use these people because they are free resources that you're not going to have to pay for. Okay.
Really, today,
yeah.
I want to interject and say that we're a part of the SCALE program through the governor's office. I just put the link in the chat to shortcut it for people. They can go to that page, put in what they're looking for, whether it be procurement support, access to capital, technical assistance, and we will connect you with the person in your specific area so that you don't have to look all over the place. It is completely free, whether you're a member or not a member, but we'd love for you to be a member. But you don't have to be. It's completely free. And this is through through CalOSBA. So that link is in the chat. Fill out the intake form and someone will respond to you within 24 hours.
See, that's why I asked. I'm like, I don't know all the services that you offer. So I'm glad that you mentioned that and you put it on the chat because people need to know. Yeah. So we are at the end. We actually finished a few minutes before the hour. So that was great. Josh and Samantha, were there any questions at all?
Yeah, there was a question about being able to update your Cali Procure profile. And yes, you can update your keywords, your codes, and your service areas at any time. And if you need any help doing that, I put the booking link in there. You can schedule a one-on-one with any member of our team, and we can walk you through that.
Thank you. Yeah, we're definitely here to help with whatever we can. Like I said, there's some things that we just cannot help you with, like bidding. We cannot help you with that. But that's where the other areas, the other organizations, and Marquita said that they can also help you with some of that stuff too. So use any free resources because it is very expensive, right? Running a business, just living right now is very expensive. Um, our information is on the screen. Again, email works great for us. We travel quite a bit, especially right now at the beginning um, of the first half of the year, especially no, the second quarter is it gets really busy for us. But we're here to help with whatever, and yeah, just let us know, including with registration and certification. Okay, so if you need help with any of that stuff, we're here to help. I'm gonna stop share because I'm at the end, and if I don't know if you have any announcements, Marquita, but you're muted. Okay, okay.
Yes. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for all this great information. You were so thorough. I really appreciate you walking people through the entire platform because I know people get stuck sometimes, like, or you can interpret things the wrong way, and then you could potentially end up filling it out wrong, and your application gets kicked out. I know that happens with the supplier clearinghouse, so we have them do a step by step as well. So really appreciate you doing that. And I thank you, Samantha and John, for answering the questions in the chat. So I first want to say that. As for the chamber, we have all of our upcoming programming we'll send out through email. We have a couple of mixers coming up. We had a really great mixer at the Abbey a couple of 2 weeks ago. It was fantastic. Our next one is at Descanso, and we will be doing another certification webinar. We're finalizing the date on that right now. You'll be getting that information as well as some programming that we're doing with LADWP and some of our other partners. So just look out for that. Please always check your email. We try to keep it pretty, just like maybe once or twice a week. But if we're emailing you, it's really important information. So please be sure to check all of that out. I'm going to put my information in the chat, my email, so that everyone has it. And we're always happy to help with anything that you need. And I want to also thank DGS for being at our procurement summit in January, which was really fantastic. If any of you missed it, we had DGS there and the Department of Insurance and the CPUC, the University of California. We had the Sports and Entertainment Commission, LA 28, the Olympics. They shared some great information. We also had some success stories because this is not just information about how you could get contracts, but we actually had people who are getting contracts so that you can hear from the people who are already, like I said, getting contracts so you can hear more about the process, the do's and don'ts. So that was a really great event. And again, I thank DGS for not just being there, but supporting it so that we could, pay the bills on that. And we were very proud to have invested over $10,000 with LGBTQ businesses for that particular event, because not only are we connecting you to other opportunities, we're creating opportunities as well. So I think I think there's some questions still being answered in the chat. I know John just responded to Sean, and you have everyone's email address. So we'll stick around for another minute to answer any questions. But this is the type of programming that you get with the California LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. We want to not just be cheerleaders of certification, but actually be the ones that help you learn how to do the process. I just got onboarded onto the Hospital Supplier Diversity Commission, so you'll be getting more information about how to connect with hospitals. Many of you know that we are also on the Department of Insurance Diversity Task Force. We're on the DGS Small Business Advisory Council, and we are also on the Caltrans District 11. So anywhere there's procurement going on, we are the LGBTQ voice in the room. All right, so seeing no more questions, we're going to give you back a few more minutes of your day. Again, really appreciate those of you who showed up this morning, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Thanks again, Teresa, Samantha, and John.
Thank you.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.